In a small town just outside Cleveland, Ohio, there was a man named Michael Turner. Now, Michael wasn't born with any special advantages. He had no rich family, no powerful connections to call on. All he had was an old pickup truck, a small rented apartment, and a belief in himself that was slowly starting to fade. At 34 years old, Michael worked as a delivery driver. The days were long, the boxes were heavy, and the appreciation was little. Every single evening, he'd come home completely exhausted. His hands sore and his back aching. And he defined himself wondering the same thing over: is all this effort even worth it? He'd scroll through his phone and see other people celebrating their promotions, their new businesses, these incredible success stories that seem to just happen overnight. Meanwhile, his own life felt like it was stuck on repeat, a loop he couldn't break out of. One night, after a brutal 12-hour shift, Michael just sat on his couch, staring up at the ceiling. He'd been working hard for years, putting in the hours, doing the heavy lifting, but the results just weren't there. And that's when the doubt, that quiet, poisonous voice, started to creep in. Maybe hard work doesn't even matter anymore, it whispered. Maybe it's all just about luck. The very next day, while he was making a late delivery, Michael crossed paths with Mr. Harris, an older warehouse manager who'd been working there for decades. Mr. Harris saw Michael struggling with a particularly heavy load, and he said calmly, "Son, don't confuse slow results with no results." Michael stopped what he was doing. Mr. Harris continued, "Hard work is like planting seeds underground. You don't see anything happening on the surface for a long time, but that doesn't mean nothing is growing beneath." Those simple words echoed in Michael's mind. That night, Michael made a decision. It wasn't about working harder, because he was already exhausted. It was about working smarter and, most importantly, consistently. So after his shifts, instead of just collapsing in front of the TV, he started spending 1 hour, just 1 hour, learning new skills. He studied logistics systems, read about basic management, and watched videos on leadership. Some nights, he was so tired he could barely keep his eyes open. Some nights, he wanted to just quit and forget the whole thing. But he kept reminding himself of what Mr. Harris said, and he came up with his own mantra. Hard work doesn't always pay fast, but it always pays back. Months passed. Nothing dramatic happened. No sudden breakthrough. But Michael showed up every single day, on time, focused, reliable, and slowly but surely, people started to notice. About a year later, the company announced an opening for a new supervisor role. Michael's first thought was to not even apply. They'll choose someone else, someone with more experience, he thought. But then he remembered all those nights he pushed through the fatigue, All the days he gave his absolute best, even when nobody was watching. He decided to take a chance on himself. He applied. A few weeks later, to his surprise, Michael was called into the manager's office. The manager looked at him and said, "Michael, we've watched how you work. Not just once in a while, but every single day. Your consistency stands out." Michael got the job. But something powerful inside him changed. Michael started walking a little differently, with his head held higher. He spoke with a newfound confidence. He was starting to believe in himself again. Over the next few years, he just kept building on that foundation, step by step, day by day. Eventually, he became the operations manager for the entire facility. One evening, driving home in that same old pickup truck, Michael just smiled. Not because his life was suddenly perfect, but because he finally understood the truth. Hard work never lies. So, if you're out there working hard and feeling like you're seeing nothing for it, if you feel tired, overlooked, or like you're falling behind, I want you to remember Michael's story. Remember, this hard work compounds. The results are often delayed, but they are not denied. The effort you are making today is actively shaping your tomorrow. Most people quit right before the harvest, right before the results finally arrive. Don't be most people, because hard work always brings results, just doesn't happen on your timeline. Stay consistent, stay patient, and let your work speak for you. Thanks for watching.